everything now.
Word. All right, man, let's get into it. Yeah.
What's happening?
Yo, what's good, my nigga?
Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous. Welcome to another episode.
We at it again.
Yeah, some new listeners, old listeners, everybody that's been rocking with us from the jump.
Appreciate y'all.
Back with another one. How you feeling today, my nigga?
I'm feeling good, man.
I must say, I'm gonna start off rip. I'm jealous of the fit, bro. It's a fit. I want to wear the fit. Now I can't wear that. I can't never wear the fit. I like that fit.
I appreciate it, man.
That's a beasties right there.
I like that shirt too, man. I mean, the fit is fire, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, nah, I'm ready.
We gonna get into it in the fit chat. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it. They said I wasn't gonna come like this, so had to come.
Nigga challenge you. He said, "I don't wear a do-rag." We'll tell you that.
That
mean he looking at you.
I'm like, we don't wear a do-rag. Niggas think I've been healing since I was born out this joint. Like, come on, bro. But man, in this episode, y'all, we get into a concept of being the first generation. Not first generation as it's normally seen in terms of like immigration and you're the first generation on this soil, but more first generation in terms of being the first generation to try to get out of toxicity, to try to apply different methods to the healing, to try to embrace intimacy with other male. We'll try to like just shift the paradigm and the perception of what it means to be a man. And
I think it also can apply to women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What it means to be a human and relate to other humans without the ego, the fear, the toxicity, the appreciation for what everybody offers.
We're the first generation to in a mass. I mean, it's with the information age and just kind of us. As generations grow, but the first generation in mass to really look at these things and, oh, that behavior is not right. Oh, that language is not right. Oh, I can't call this person that. Oh, I shouldn't speak like that.
And more than I can't call them that, I didn't realize that's how you took when I said that. Because that's not what I meant to be. That's not how I meant to come across in the first place. I didn't have this maliciousness, but I didn't understand maybe the traumatic context with which you hold that word or those things,
boy, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of, I guess, where, I don't know.
Because, a lot of people like, you ain't going to tell me what to say. It's like, it's not about telling you what to say. It's like, how do you want that person that you're talking to feel about it? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's like, and that's the thing I always take when people like get offended at somebody saying a language. It's like, yo, if that person feels a way about it, why are you so desperate to talk about it? To say that word? Why do you want to say that, bro? Like,
I remember talking to my parents about gender pronouns, and they're like, I don't understand why this person wants to be called that. It's like, who cares if you understand why they want to be called it? Do you know what they want to be called?
Why?
Do you respect the person? Why don't you call them what they want to be called? Like,
it seems.
I know a lot of Williams that go by Bill, and I don't ask them why they do it.
Straight up, why you want to go by Bill? I'm not calling you Bill. I'm gonna call you by your birth name.
Like what? That's ridiculous. Mama name him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. Like, come on, bro.
Okay, so it's Mama in charge. Huh?
Come on, man.
Mama in charge of everything. So yeah, it's really first gen and looking at our behavior and really like we really the ones identifying. So and we say that to kind of stress and emphasize the grace needs to be given to that. We have to acknowledge that this is our first time trying this shit. It's only my third day out here. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like these are attempts that are being made. This is the first time that we're having these conversations. This is the first time that we actually thinking about these things. So some grace needs to be given. Mistakes will be made.
Things will be
said. Old behaviors, old habits die hard. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not to say that we won't take accountability for those mistakes when they happen. I'm not gonna say if, but it also means know that we're trying, understand our intent. You know what I mean? Like we're not saying this to make an excuse. We're saying it to give context.
Facts. Context that's the most important thing in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's that grace, and I guess would you say that it's cancel culture started because of this, or we start looking at ourselves because of cancel culture?
I think cancel culture started because of this. I think and not to, you know, prop up cancel culture, because I think we've talked on several episodes about how ridiculous it is to throw away human beings.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think, you know, I think we're the first, and we're saying we're the first generation. You know, we talked before about, you know, being basically like mid-30s, you know, but like, it's people younger than us that force us to look at it. And I think the people older than us are the ones who are like,
yeah,
I'm too set in my ways, I'm gonna pass on it. So we're the oldest ones to sort of embrace it and look at it. But I think it's even people younger than us who challenged us to say, like, why do y'all move like this? I remember, you know, probably if you look at like Google Trends, the use of the patriarchy is like exponentially grown over time.
Insane.
But, you know, how I think people being held accountable for it. But you have to start with somebody holding you accountable. So
that's the thing. Cancel culture started out as like, there was a point in there where it was like, oh, all right, we getting somewhere with this shit. It's like, it's good that we making people feel accountable.
Yeah.
And then it just started using it as anything a nigga say you disagree with it, don't like, or it's offensive or whatever.
And it's so crazy. Actually, before we get too deep into this, I do want to shout somebody out.
All right.
I want to shout out my homie Melvin, because he actually introduced this. What up, Pooh?
Melvin.
He introduced this concept to me, and he was talking about like relating to a woman that I don't know if he was dating her or what the situation was. I can't really remember. I don't think it was actually. But he was just explaining, like, you want this guy to show up in this way. You want him to understand you. But we first generation in this. We are figuring it out. We was raised
on the go.
The whole thing that people idolized when we was growing up was pimps.
What? Pimps.
It's
like no feelings.
Yeah, no feelings at all.
Disrespecting women, not loving.
Word.
Being disrespectful, talking
being
shit,
disrespectful
fighting.
to each other, having no self-worth and self-value for ourselves. So of course we disrespectful to everybody else. And even opening yourself up to anything is a vulnerable threat. They're gonna try you. I'm gonna have to fight about that, whatever. And so like the value of ourselves was down. The value of women was super down. Like the understanding of what a woman offers to you is like, that was actually a foreign concept to some people. Like, man said, was asked, do you know what a wife brings or what a woman brings to a relationship? He's like, the honest answer is I don't. I want to know. I'm trying to find out, but I do not know. I'm first generation trying to figure this out. So,
that's real.
I want to shout him out. But sorry, what was the question?
No. I mean, that's what I want to get into about this shit. Is like, yo, this is we learn it on the go too. At that, it's not like we get this information. It's like we deep dive into that. I got work tomorrow, bro. Like,
no, it's a fact.
I got work in the morning, my nigga. I don't even have time.
Drop a bomb on you, like, oh wait, what?
Word. My whole life has been wrong. I've been tripping my whole life.
And that's the thing too. People, the way that the information is delivered is not in a compassionate way. It's like,
right. It's immediately.
Bro, you've been like, fucking up your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You a sorry ass nigga if you ever said some shit like that. Like,
word.
If I ever said it?
If I ever said it?
Damn. Oh,
if
shit.
I ever said that, I'm a piece of shit ass nigga. Or
yeah,
I'm
word.
It was funny too, because another catalyst for Charlemagne had said some funny shit. He like, I had to get off the gram because I get on my comments and you know what I'm saying? I've been called a homophobic. I've been called a racist. I've been told I hate black women. I've been told I hate. He's like, there's no way I could be all of these things. I can't be all of these things at once. Or I just hate every human being.
Every human being.
Like, I'm a misogynist. I'm this. He's like, I love women. I love black people. I love this. But I've said things that maybe all of these people could have taken offensive at some point. But come on, like, what the fuck you mean? Like,
and the other thing about that too is like the information is oftentimes delivered in a hyperbolic way to make a point.
And so, hyperbolic is
meaning like you exaggerate to the
hyperbole.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
So I used to work with a woman who was a self-admitted misandrist, and so. For those who don't know, misandrist is like basically the opposite of a misogynist. So she hated men. And, you know, in talking to her, I understood how she ended up that way based on her story, her family dynamics, all the things that went into that.
Do to make you hate them.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that could happen. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it starts at home. You know what I mean? But
trust. Yeah.
she once told me, a man should never talk to or approach a woman that he doesn't know. Ever. So I'm like, so if I'm on the train, nobody else on the train, I have no idea where to go, but the only person that's in the station is a woman. I shouldn't talk to her. I should just be lost forever. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't approach her. And I'm like, yo, you got to think about another way to deliver the information.
Word. That's not reasonable. That's not valid.
But what she was saying is a lot of ways that men approach women make women feel unsafe. Mm-hmm. So we would rather you not approach us at all in most instances, because even you coming towards us can make us clench up, can make us, we don't know the intent. Which I could, if I just have that argument with her back and forth, so never, then we just arguing.
Right.
But if I can see, something I think I mentioned on another episode is a book. What was the book? Say What You Mean. Mm-hmm. And the idea that, can you hear everyone's, whatever they say, as an unmet need? Everything somebody says, especially in a confrontational way, is trying to communicate some unmet need. Right. And so it's like, if I hear that as an unmet need, you need me to alert to you that it's a safe space. Word. I can do that when I approach you. But if you deliver it as like, nah, never come near me, it's like, all right, cool, bro. Like, come on.
Stop focusing on what I said and focus on what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, see through it. Understand the fear that she's, and that's valid. You know what I'm saying? I know women live a scary life, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to shit like that. I guys be terrifying. Any nigga walk up on you, any nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's scary as a woman. I feel that. But again, it's like, I wouldn't put most men in that pool. I don't think most men are predators. I don't think most men are violent. I don't think most men are looking to do harm. I think there's a lot of behaviors that men and us in general we was taught that was acceptable behavior at one point, bro. Niggas was walking around touching ass in the pool, in school, all types of shit.
You know what's crazy on that subject? And maybe this is something we get into in another podcast. I meant to ask you about this before, like even on some other shit.
Yeah.
But all of the things that I learned that I've now sort of understood as informed by the patriarchy or toxic masculinity and all the things that kind of came through in the sort of like Me Too movement in 15, 16, I learned them actually from women. Or girls. Girls, not women.
They're definitely
but girls.
Yeah.
A girl grabbed my ass before I ever grabbed a girl's ass, and I'm like, oh, okay, we grab asses now. You feel me? Like everything. I've been followed by women. I've been all this stuff that I just thought of as like, this is the social dynamic that we live in. This is what people do.
You have a woman look at you crazy if you wasn't on that animal shit. You know what I'm saying? Bro, if you wasn't acting like that. Like, what, you gay, nigga?
Yeah, you know like crazy. Women, you know what I'm saying, come up to me, grope me all the time, like. So like I just thought that was how we related to each other at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? It had to obviously, you know what I'm saying, understand how that's making people feel, and even understand how that made me feel, because I'm just thinking it's supposed to be normal. You feel me? But I want to ask you: is there maybe of all the shifts that I'm assuming you've made, and I've known you for 3 years, and I've seen kind of some even shifts within that time, but I think the sort of global shift started happening, I don't know, when you want to say 13, 14?
We're like 4 years now into by the way. But the global shift, you asked me.
But so like, what I'm asking is, what was something that was really hard to understand, or to, like, as a first generation trying to figure this stuff out, what was maybe some of the challenges or one thing that sticks out?
The biggest thing for me was language, bro. Like, because I was just like so dead set on the stance of like, I don't mean it that way, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm using
intent versus impact.
Yeah. I'm using it in this way, so I don't give a fuck who feels what about what. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody used to describe everything as gay. Gay was like if it was stupid, if it was ugly, if it was corny, if it was whack, it was gay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's your gay. That's your gay. And it was just how we spoke, like, and then once it becomes like, oh, there's people that we're using this as it's kind of it's being taken as a slur. You know what I'm saying? So
if every context you put in is negative,
yeah,
and
exactly.
That's how some people identify.
Exactly. Yeah. So and then And then, of course, like when it first started, I'm resistant to it. Like I've been speaking like this forever. Me and my friends been speaking. It's funny, actually. This makes my friends laugh when I say this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not gonna stop that. Fuck that. Y'all can't tell me what to do. But then
somebody gonna cut that clip up, by the way.
word. They can go ahead and make it whatever they want to make it. We can talk about it. We can talk about it. But that's kind of just like, I was resistant to I didn't want to change that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really look at like, then I'm thinking like, yo, why am I fighting so hard to just say some shit? If somebody's telling me, like, why am I so
fighting so hard to hurt other people?
Why am I pressed on it? Like, I'm goofy if I'm not able to just remove or change the way I say something or even create. I consider myself creative, so I'm not creative enough to think of another word to make my niggas laugh or to use it as like, that's goofy. So once I look at I'm like, oh, I'm tripping. I need to rid this out of my vocabulary. Let me stop. It's not as countless words I've stopped saying or things I've stopped using in certain contexts. And it just becomes easier, you know what I'm saying? And you understand it's like, oh, I don't have to say that. For what?
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that. So I think it's just definitely taking a look at yourself, sitting with yourself, and it's like, oh, why are you so hard pressed saying white people saying niggas like, yo, you making an argument. Why do you want to say that word, bro? Like, what's up with you? Why you hard pressed? Oh, because of freedom and because you want to have the freedom. But why do you want to say that? Why do you want to say that?
Yeah, 100%.
That's weird, my nigga. How about you? What was your difficulty in this? I'm sure it's many, but you know what I'm saying? That was my hardest.
Yeah, it's a lot. You know, for me, I don't know. I was thinking about it while you was talking. Language, it was a hard one. I feel like I was held accountable to it in a different way immediately because I'm in a management role in a corporate setting.
Yeah.
So
it already kind of gets out of you in that role.
Yeah, it already kind of like got out of me.
I was a wild child.
So I existed, you know what I'm saying? I existed in different spaces.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I wish I had my cricket phone. How many voicemails people call left on my joint?
It's fucking crazy. You know, it's another one too is in the way I talk with women. In the way not only I talk, the way I deal with women, just my idea of like, oh, I'm actually supposed to be loving this person. There's a point where when men go, you get made fun of if you show a woman love. You a simp. You soft. You a lover boy. You this. You that. Like,
bro, somebody call you a simp. Somebody call you whipped. Somebody, bruh, what?
You whipped. Oh, this chick got you whipped now. Damn, because I'm buying her flowers and I want to go to the movies with her.
Or maybe not even I'm buying her flowers. Maybe just because I didn't come get on the sticks with you niggas and, you know what I'm saying? Hop on the game you can't come kick it with your niggas. Oh, you got you whipped over there. Like,
oh yeah, this nigga whipped. He always laid up with Shorty. Oh, where you at with Shorty? And it's like, oh, so you really just miss me and want to hang out with me, my nigga, and you mad. You upset that I can't come.
Yeah, jealous and shit.
Shorty come and she giving me something that you niggas don't give me. We not able to communicate or even think about it in that way at that time, but that's exactly what it is.
Oh, you said I miss you, bro. I told you niggas do not have the language to have these conversations, bro.
Word, I miss you, man. That's all it is. Like, oh, you miss me, you want me to come hang out with you. Like, if it's that, like, I'm sure the younger generation could probably communicate in a way like, yo, come hang out. Yeah. With me and my girl, like we all kick it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
bro, I think that was all right. So for me, I was gonna say the way that the word love gets thrown around so freely now. Like that was a very hard thing for me to understand and because I was taught to hold on to that word, you know, like. That word is so big and it means so much that you just can't be throwing out "I love you," and especially when you relate how you relate to women. The whole thing is like protect your heart, 3 stacks. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing is like protect yourself, so you're not throwing that out.
You moving out of fear,
and I mean, I'm not gonna speak for nobody else. I didn't want people to fall in love with me because I didn't want to stand up to that responsibility of somebody loving me. You know what I mean? Or somebody seeing me even like. So I definitely didn't want that. But this casual I love you of like friends saying that they love each other and all this, that was like a very foreign thing to me. Like, what you
ain't hear nothing, boy.
Especially a female friend that doesn't want you romantically telling you that they love you and showing up in that way. That was hard for me to accept, understand, like relate to, and not want to push it away because I'm like, nah, love means this, and I don't know if this could be, you know what I'm saying? Like putting this whole expectation on it. Yo, shout out Amber. She kind of talked about how it's a big American thing to like shy away from this idea of love.
I'm sure it is.
Like
Bro. I
a
can't
lot of
imagine.
Europeans just run it like, you know, French people, Parisians, like, I love you.
Yeah.
I'm in it. What's up?
Boy, it was none of that. Like,
Yeah.
my name it was almost like, let's be as harsh as possible. And if you can't take the harshness, you a bitch.
But that's, I think, speaking of, you know, conversations that we had about like just American life, a lot of the movement, a lot of the sort of like male-dominated patriarchal like cultural standards were built around radical individualism. And I'm already an individualistic person. I am, for those who are into like human design, which maybe is like 3 of our listeners, but shout out y'all. I'm a manifester, which is the only like human design that actually doesn't rely on response to other people. I don't want to make this a human design thing, so I won't get too deep into it. But the point is, my makeup is normally to be an individual. And then I'm in a society that pushes radical individualism on people. So to be in a world where now we're like separating the boundaries between things, everything's free flowing, and people are diving into a sense of community in ways that they haven't before. That's also been kind of a difficult thing for me. Just a thing more abstract than just like, because this is bigger than the language you use with women, or, you know what I mean? This is a whole cultural shift that we're trying to take on, and being on the front lines of this as the first generation is crazy.
Lines. We taking the shots, boy.
Taking all shots,
damn,
bro.
I was a trash ass nigga. Oh damn, I was a sorry ass nigga.
Like,
that
what?
Nigga. Oh, niggas be doing this. Like, oh shit. Like, yeah, that was fucked up. My bad.
Yeah.
Like, my bad. But understand though that we really think about these things, and I know most men don't want to be this way. You know what I'm saying? I see so much in men. Like, I see men get so much pain. You know, you see it when they're dealing with women and shit, but it's just like, men don't want to hurt you, boy. They want you, they want to love you, and they want you to love them.
Bro, you know, one thing that we had on episode 3, if you haven't heard that, self-love and violence in hip-hop, we talked about we talked about embracing the people that make the music and understanding and having empathy for the context that they live in to be making that music.
Word.
One thing that we didn't touch on as much maybe is the effect of the music on us and how we move. You know what I mean? And like growing up, where in the generation where hip hop became the dominant black culture and then the dominant culture around the world, the ideals of hip hop at the time when we were listening to, were listening to it because we still are, but the time that we were in our formidable years, you know what I'm saying, discovering some of our favorite, exactly, that was raising us. Bro, some of the rhetoric in the music is like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
this is my idol telling me.
Not only
like,
is it homophobic, misogynistic, but it's like, bro, it's pushing this idea of, if you not this type of person, if you not hard, violent, if you not like this to women, if you not whatever, you ain't shit.
You ain't shit. You a bitch, nigga. My favorite rapper can't think I'm a bitch. Like,
my favorite rapper can't think I'm a bitch.
Ain't no way. I got I'm trying. I got some poster in my room. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever he's saying kind of is rocking. This who I'm listening to. I listen to this nigga Pac more than my parents. I listen to DMX more than my parents. I listen to 50 more than my parents. You know what I'm saying? These songs is on repeat. PIMP is on 50 albums, a hit. Bro, we talking about being this, fuck this woman, this.
Bro, I'm talking about, but I'm listening to that, but I'm also listening to niggas like a Drew Down, or like a Sugar Free, or like a 8-Ball of MJG, like a Pimp C, like a shit Twister and Do or Die back in the, everything was about pimping, fuck, Corrupt. I tell niggas all the time, like, I was raised on Corrupt. I gotta take a second if I ever gave a fuck about these hoes.
And there's no blame to them because they know no better. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
not taught
but you gotta
any
think they was raised by pimps.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
You
like,
raised by a pimp. What you embrace? What you talking about, bro? You gonna get some love? Like what?
Bro, and it's also like within the black world, it's a systematic situation where men are systematically taken out of the home via prison industrial complex, via welfare benefit, like incentives, all this stuff, via death, via drug epidemics put in our communities, all type of stuff. And then women are learning to resent men because they're not around, because they have to fend for so much. So men are learning to trying to defend themselves against that and saying, well, if you don't fuck with me, fuck you type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of cultural things that go into that. So like you say, it's nothing against them. I feel like everybody was doing the best they could with the information that they had.
Yeah, word.
But we have better information now.
We have better information.
And so like you said, we trying to download it and act on it in real time.
For some niggas, it's still downloading. Like, download speed ain't the same at everybody's house.
Everybody don't got the same Wi-Fi.
Everybody ain't got the same. Some niggas is still downloading. Some niggas have downloaded. They uploaded the program and shit running smoothly. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas is in the middle, like, yo.
Bro, you got to download it, but then you got to upload it.
You got to upload it, and then you got to use it. You know what I'm saying?
I had the same rate on both of those, bro.
You got to use it, and you got to get the updated version when the updated version drop.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
iOS update release. I ain't know we couldn't. I ain't know that was even, bro. It happened in real time with the Beyonce album drop when she said spazzing, and then people kind of learned that that's an offensive term towards people with certain conditions. And actually, forgive me for not knowing the conditions, but I didn't know. I never knew spazzing was related to anything.
No idea. Fam.
I didn't get that update.
I had no idea. And I think I was resistant initially to even that. Like, I still go through that. Where it's just like, hey, fam, like, yo, I thought I already became a good nigga. You know what I'm saying? I thought I already did that. I thought I was done with that part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
real question for you. Do you ever, some things you just don't adopt? Like, because at some point, I would say like me, maybe I don't need to ask you a question, I should make a statement.
What?
I realized that my goal is actually not to make everybody happy. And so I think some people are using the moment or the shift in culture to say, well, I don't like this, so we should never say this. And I'm like,
oh yeah, nah, 1000%. No. I'm using discretion at all times. I'm using discretion at all times, bro. It's like, it's nothing.
I can't think of an example, but some shit I'm looking at like, well,
1000%. I might be there with spaz. I don't know if I'm all the way sold on spaz. You know what I'm saying? I might be there, but
I don't use that word.
Word. I used to use that in my regular vocabulary. You know what I'm saying?
I used to, but I just haven't used it in a long time. I don't use it enough for it to be a factor.
Word.
So I just left it at face value, so I didn't have to have resistance to it. I'm like, it was like a spectator. Like, oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, I use discretion with everything. It's just like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that. And if you're offended by this, whatever. Like, I really don't care. I'm probably offended by a lot of things you do. I just don't voice it. We don't get to just walk around and think, because I don't like this has to change. Oh, I don't like the way you wear you sag and that offends me. The fuck you mean? Like, hey, all right, cool, nigga. Like, yo, the way you do this offends me. The way you smell over here offends me. The way you cooking this offends me. The way you walk offends me. Like, I don't get to just make rules.
Yo, cooking offends me.
Like, word. Like, yo, there's really people that be like, yo, I had to talk to my mom about that shit before. Like, yo, like, she was complaining about niggas smoking down the block, you know what I'm saying? Like, type shit, and talking about the smell and all. Yo, you don't get to go outside and just tell niggas you don't like the smell of what's in the air. This they air too. Like, yo, you don't get to just dictate. Fact. You don't get to just deem you don't like it, so they must stop. That's not how this shit go, boy. Like,
yo, it's so funny how people think that when they enter the space, it's now their domain.
It's the gentrification.
Yo, quick story. Myself, shout out Hussin, shout out Germ, shout out Noah, and Keith were at dinner one day.
Yeah. Shout out the squad, boy. I miss some boys too, man.
Hey, we gonna have to get together and hit up a La Llama session.
Yeah. We gotta gatekeep that.
We had. I'm gonna beep it out.
We gotta bleep that one out. Yeah, we gatekeeping that.
But we had dinner, chilling outside, having one of the top 5 dinners of my life, taste-wise, experience, people, interaction. It was when you met them.
Yeah, it's fire.
Some old couple comes out, sits down, and looks over to us and says, "Can you guys keep it down? You guys are laughing too loud."
Word. Word. What?
We outside eating at a restaurant. You think we gonna stop laughing?
I'm outside with old friends and new friends.
You gotta take them hearing aids out.
Word,
turn that shit down.
Old ass couple, like, yo, anyway. Who are you talking? Word, but that's what literally people think. You are too loud for us, boy. What if I say y'all too quiet? Speak up. I want noise. What do you don't get to just dictate this shit, bro? Like, what is this?
I can't barely hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Talk louder, boy.
Yo.
You don't get to just dictate shit, bro. Like, yo, find the balance. Like, and if you don't like it, that's why anytime I see niggas, it's the same thing. Niggas will complain about performers on the train and shit like that. You know how many train cars it is?
Word.
Get your ass off at the next stop and go on the other car if you don't like the noise they making, bro.
Hey,
that nigga want
what?
to pull that speaker that's blasting and he playing his music. Respect to him. That's how he move.
Cop a car. You want to move privately? Cop a car.
Yeah, cop a car. You can play what you want.
It's showtime.
Word, exactly. Showtime. We on this shit. If you don't like it, you either deal with it or you don't. But you don't get to just voice. You can voice it too, but you don't get to have the expectation.
You don't get to dictate it. Yeah.
You don't get to dictate shit, bro.
Speaking of showtime,
it's a shared earth.
I'm gonna show these niggas what you wearing. What you come with today?
Yeah.
Big check.
Yeah, man. I copped this shirt a while ago, man. It's an Acne.
The shirt is hard, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, my nigga. I thought the same thing when I first saw it.
Yeah, that's like a mud cloth joint. This shit is.
Yeah. I don't get to wear it much just because it's just like one of those. The weather gotta be right, and it's a big piece too. So once I wear it, once I'm on here with it, I probably can't come out with it for another year or so.
Yo, public service announcement. Niggas not been wearing different shit every episode.
Facts. No, you
I don't know that we've addressed this.
No, you will. I'm a real nigga. You will see me outside with this shit.
This ain't gonna be on my Instagram.
Yeah,
you gonna see me outside with it in 3 weeks.
Ain't no shame in my game,
bro.
Boy.
If I
got
fuck
no
with a piece, I got it on. I'm just telling you, and I will be wearing this again. Probably hit the summer, you'll see this again.
Nigga, if I find a piece that I like, especially when it comes to pants, if I find a good pair of pants, them shit's getting rocked frequently. Those are my pants.
I only have like 10 pants in rotation at any given time.
These is my pants.
Episode 10, you gonna see the same pants.
Say less, man.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nah, that PSA was necessary. I don't want niggas even think like, oh, these niggas ain't wearing that, man. You got me fucked up. I come out the mud. Fuck out of here. Pants, Fear of God. And then went with the low force.
Fear of God. What are those khakis? Are they slacks? Like
I think these shits was called like.
They look like they've been starched up, bro.
Yeah,
they look official, dog.
Man, these shits something serious, some 12. But that's the thing with Fear of God, boy. Like every time I get a Fear of God pack, it's like it's always better than what I expected. It's just a little like every single time I bought it, it's like always a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
Paired it with the white and red. Where I went to my spot. I forgot where I got these, but I had these for a couple years.
Uptowns?
Yeah, just some calm shit. But I like the gold. I like how they did the gold and they usually had a silver tab on the Air Forces.
Yeah, no, the gold is smooth. Speaking of gold, so you coming different on the wrists?
Yeah. It came with the rose gold Prezi, man, with the ruby. This was discontinued in like 11, I think. So
yeah,
I'm going rose for a little bit, but I like the way that it's
just for the record, I think it was episode 3 where I told niggas I be old rose gold. Just go back. Maybe episode 4, I was talking about copper and rose gold.
I remember the copper talk.
I was like, yo, you know how I bring copper into my world? Rose gold. And just for the record, you know what I'm saying? Because niggas don't see me actually throw on any jewelry in this, any gold. You know what I'm saying? But
how you coming, man? Dickied up.
Dickie suit.
West Coast for sure.
It was an episode, I think episode 2, where we both had on like State Playing Blue type vibes, updated Dickie suits. Yours was Acne. I think I had on the Mont Italy joint, but I actually found like a little something that Dickie's put together with a vest and just like tech baggy pant combo. I was like, oh, Dickie got an updated Dickie suit. I'm in that.
Niggas lagging. Them niggas still in business, boy.
Hey, bro, like I say, man, I don't know if I explain this, but Black Denver is very LA influence, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, grew up on Dickie suits, was in that thing.
I can hear it in your voice.
It used to be bruh, it was a spot 5 blocks away from my mom's house called Compton Mart, and all it had was Dickie suits in there. And, like, foul-ass graphic tees.
Word.
That shit is a coffee shop now, though, by the way. You know how shit go. But off-white 2s.
RP
Yo, one time I'm in a fucking... I was in a hotel elevator. This old white dude leaned over to me. Excuse me, you have a zip tie on your shoe. Like, oh, word.
Word. Thank you, sir. My bad. Didn't see that. You think a nigga was actually being helpful in that situation?
No, he was. He was so genuine about it. He was so genuine. And like I had a good interaction with him, but I just thought that was hilarious. Dries Van Known T. Pearls. And then got on this do-rag, man. This do-rag,
one of the hardest do-rags I've ever seen to this day.
Shout out Ouija, man. Shout out Ouija at Brooklyn
Ouija.
Circus. It was like a part of a collection that he did to shed light on the prison industrial complex.
Word.
So it was like, actually, I think like 3 seasons he did it. But I have hella shit from this collection, so.
Niggas talk about prison on every episode, somehow, some way. We niggas, though.
1 and 3. 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
So you connected to it somehow.
Somehow, some way. You know a nigga, somebody in the family, or it's going to be you.
But I just thought he told me a story like he was on, like how do-rags is like, you know, shunned by some people, especially some black people. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. It's looked as do-rag. One of the flyest pieces we got is a culture, man.
But he's on a plane one day and a shorty comes up to him and is like, yo, I see your crown. And he like, because of how she saw me, I get the luxury of wearing it. And people see it as a crown. So I wanted to like bring it to the masses type shit. So I thought that was hard. So I had to cop that joint.
That's hard.
That's hard.
That's hard. That's hard.
Shout out Dory, man.
Always shout out Dory. That's that nigga. He pioneered this shit for real.
Bro, when you look at this new wave, this new energy coming in, and being the first generation of it, what relationships, was it friendships that were affected the most? Was it relationship with strangers? Was it romantic relationships? Was it family that you feel like you started looking at people differently in a good or a bad way? Like once that perception shifted, you had to relate to people differently, I'm sure. Like
yeah, because it's like when you make the change, it's kind of like, oh, if the nigga's not making the change with you, they still on that. They still on that bullshit.
Are you leaving people behind? Are you looking at family members different? Are you relating to what?
Man, I'm such a context matters person. I'm such a look at every situation as an individual. So I try not to throw anything under a blanket or under an umbrella, but I'm able to identify those niggas that I know ain't coming, or the niggas that I know, because you know there was the people that kind of had that ill intent behind their behavior and was just using the natural culture to justify it.
Yeah.
Versus the niggas that was just caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? But didn't really want to be like that. But was like, oh, all my friends is on it, so that's what I'm on. But they not really like that. You know what I'm saying? Word. So I'm able to identify those. So them type niggas, it's kind of like leave behind. Whatever, like it's not like I'm gonna defriend you or anything like that, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You be over there on that, but and then the niggas that's growing with me, like, I want to talk about these things. We talk about shit all the time, like past toxic behaviors, and I mean, we kick the shit and joke about shit, but also at the same time, we've also made a serious effort and concerted effort to make sure that, like, oh no, we getting better with this shit, like, you know what I'm saying, to this day. So how about you on that though, like? Relationship wise, I guess. Cause I mean, I'm sure too. Even when you explain like you know, homies from Denver, like you come from like that type neighborhood too, where it's like there's a lot of niggas stuck on that. Niggas raised by pimps, you know what I'm saying? So
niggas raised by gangsters in my neighborhood. It was so. I lived on a block where most everybody at first was blood, but it was a family. They dads was Crips, but they was blood. They was blood, so there was like riffraff in the family type shit.
Niggas sat tripping in the crib.
In the crib, man. But
come home with a smoke.
Bruh.
Wake you up like ghosts.
I don't know what that means.
Wake up, little nigga. Wake that nigga son up with he woke his son up with a gun.
Oh yeah, for a fact. Okay. But I don't watch TV, y'all. Sorry.
Word.
But I think it is the thing that's changed the most. And it's not that I'm distant from these people, but how I relate is probably different is how I interact with my boys.
Word.
Because how I don't laugh at the same shit is not funny in the same way that it was. You know what I'm saying? Or like whatever. Word. Or like people who mean well but belittle in the way that they talking about it. I think the idea, one thing that we've been called to do as like we have called to heal a lot, but also like, damn, why is nobody speaking up or standing up for black women? And so that's something that I've been like, damn, when I hear some niggas say some shit that's crazy, I'm like, boy, come on,
check.
Man. Yeah. So like having to check that, and even in some family stuff in a way is like just seeing how, why I was literally raised to view people like this, and it's like, hey, let me explain this to you. You know what I'm saying? Let me just break down why I'm moving different. I'm not saying you got to move different, but let me just do this. But I'll be in the group chat sometimes on some like, damn, so you just gonna say that about like what?
Yeah,
like,
word. And it's not even to say I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, I'm looking down upon you.
I just want to introduce something.
Yeah, it's just like, look, think about, the way you was raised don't mean shit. The things you've been doing, just because you've been doing it does not make it valid, fam. You just been doing some shit a long time. This whole time you could be wrong, my nigga. It could change today.
You know what's actually so interesting? Like growing up in an era where like to be considered attractive, you had to be dangerous. And not in the way that we talk about in this podcast of like stay dangerous and stay a threat mentally and stay sharp and, you know what I'm saying, be able to be formidable and those things. But like you had to be a thug nigga, you feel me? Like I want a soldier, like all that type of shit. You feel me? Like
niggas was trying to be a whole lot more than they were, but we 13 out here acting like we for real with it. Like,
bro, and like Denver's a city where we fight.
Word.
Like everybody I knew stayed. Maybe I mentioned this before. Everybody I knew stayed with gloves. You call your do dirts. Like this is what you do your dirt in. Niggas who got gloves to regularly scrap at all times.
Yeah.
And like so, growing up fighting and shit, and then going to a school where people really wasn't on that. I mean, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like just having to relate in a different way, and even just becoming an adult. Be like, okay, I don't have to fight. Everything that comes against me is not a threat to me. If I'm okay with myself, okay. And then that gets you to a place where eventually you can receive love. You not only have feelings, but you recognize them and can express them. You can articulate them. You have words to talk about them. And that puts you in a whole different sphere of people. You attract different people. And then you're like, damn, can I?
Yeah, word.
Is it okay for me to be here? So that's kind of the weird thing for me is like, I feel like an outsider in a lot of those spaces. I think a lot of people were raised around a lot more love and loving spaces than me that, you know, may be at the heel house or whatever.
Word.
So that's been kind of strange for me too.
I still wrestle with that to this day. Like when I, and that's kind of why I be so open with my truths and everything. I try to like put that out there initially so you can get to know me and get to understand me in a different way. I'm not this like, the typical, if I tell you off rip, drop out this, that, like you already painted that image, that narrative, like it's, I know y'all don't hang with dudes like me, you know what I'm saying? I know the college kids stay away from niggas like me. I know they scared of me. I know they worry about this or all that. So I always have had to wrestle with that to this day, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I can't relate to, I'm not in y'all frat, you know what I'm saying? Like at all. Like I wasn't around none of that shit. I probably the niggas you worried about to steal y'all shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you didn't like niggas like me. And I'm like, I understand that, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, yo, but learn me, understand where I was at. I understand where you was at. I'm a human being, bro.
It's so funny because going to Howard, it was so many people who was trying to like validate their hood card, but came from these, you know, well-off families and these well-off environments.
That's DMV shit though, for sure.
It's but you know, people come from everywhere. But it's a lot of like I never even the concept of black wealth was not even known to me, or not even wealth, well-offness, black upper middle class. It's not something you see in Denver like that. So it was a whole new concept to me when I moved to the East Coast. And then I'm thinking that's dope, and they like, yeah, but I grew up in there. I'm like, I don't see it, man. I don't think you was in there like that.
But that was the product of our culture. Was like, yo, you was not valid unless you was tough, unless you was listening to this, unless you was wearing this, unless you acted like this, unless you ready to pop off at the club. If you're not ready to fight, you a bitch. If you wearing this, you a bitch. If you talk like that, you a bitch. If you love women, you a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I remember getting into a fight at Howard, and then one of the dudes that was on my side, it was a whole brawl. Like one of the dudes that was on my side, I had to go to his family lived in the area, so we went to his like family crib like one day, and his granny was like, I don't think he ever even been in a fight. I said, what? How? But that's how niggas just lived a whole different life to me. So I say that to say, even when I was on that college shit, I was looking at these niggas like, man, wasn't none of y'all on, y'all never was on welfare like me. Y'all niggas ain't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate y'all. I admire y'all in certain ways, but we not the same. You feel me? Like, this don't even feel right. But it's kind of like weird for me to have been in all these spaces, but where am I like actually accepting? Where do I feel, maybe not accepted, but because I feel accepted. But
who are you now though?
Yeah, but who am I now? I could walk in any room as me in my truth, But there's that imposter syndrome to me a little bit in these healing spaces, in these new age like conversation, because I'm looking at these people like, y'all path to get here was way different than mine, and y'all may not relate to me in that way, which is why I like this type of healing conversation. Where it's like, we could talk how we normally talk, but it is healing to people to see that it's not, you don't have to come to a temple or a yoga studio or whatever to, you know what I'm saying, to evolve, but yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Sit down on the chair, put the microphone on, and kick it. That's what niggas do, boy. Yeah. It's the studio. This the studio for the old head.
Word, coming to the stew, drop that heat.
You know what I'm saying? Come drop some
every
fire,
track we drop is fire, though.
But it's therapeutic, you know what I'm saying? We talk about it. We leave, we feel good, we feel light, you know what I'm saying? We feel accomplished, and we know what it's doing for niggas, too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's fulfilling, you know what I mean? And that's the same way niggas making music feel. Like, it's the same shit, boy. You put out some shit, nigga, like, yo, this changed my life. You like, oh, word. I was just being me, saying some real shit, but nigga, that's appreciated to the max.
Which goes to the other thing is like somebody saying their personal story can reach everybody. You know what I'm saying? At all times. This is why we joked about it earlier. We talking about like Wayne is not on my top 5. And the reason is not that he's not probably the most talented rapper ever, but he doesn't tell his personal story in a lot of his music.
So you deducting points on that?
Yeah, 100%. Because I can't relate to you in a way like this.
Damn, I always thought that shit would be so dope if he did that too, bro. Like if he had that in his bag too, where he was getting into his deep shit. Like, yeah, like, but at the same time,
man, I miss my dogs. Like you know what I'm saying?
More of those.
I don't curse, but in this verse, man, fuck the world. Like those type of songs. I need more of that in your catalog for me to actually understand. So anyway, but like that specificity in a person's story makes it relate worldwide. You know what I mean?
There's so much that we all,
and that's why we say like this is our personal stories, but it's everybody's story at some point because we all human. If you a biped, you part of our audience. You feel me?
If you've had any shared experience that I've had, we've been in the same boat. We might not be in the same boat now. We've been in the same boat. I've been where you at. I promise you.
100%.
Any nigga hear this right now, I've been where you at. I swear to God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's like, niggas say I wouldn't wear a do-rag. I'm like, bro, you don't know me at all. If you think I've been wearing silk scarves my whole life, you think I've been what? What are you talking about, bro?
Word.
Every experience that niggas have had, I've had it in some type of way. You feel me? Like,
what? Now we gonna have those conversations too. I want to have those real conversations. I want to get to like the broke nigga shit. Like,
niggas been down bad, bad. Overdraft fees galore, bad. You feel me? Like I'm gonna just close that account and walk away. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care about the consequences, dog. I'm just gonna forget about it and act like it don't exist, dog. Now we gonna definitely we gotta get on navigating as a broke nigga out here, bro. And what that do to the psyche and shit, bro.
Bruh, the self-confidence of broke. Ooh, Lord.
The trickle effect. But we'll get into that on another episode for sure.
Man, so what you thinking, like, do you feel you were forced to reform? Do you hold any resentment for the reformation? I guess is the question.
Nah, not at all. Hell no. Because it's just like, it's necessary. It's so necessary, bro. Like, looking back at a lot of behavior to me is insane, bro. Like, wow, niggas was really letting this shit fly. It's the same way when you niggas watch some old movies of the 40s and 50s and 60s and shit like that. You're like, whoa, niggas was like, yo, we not far removed from that shit, my nigga. We be on the bullshit.
What you saying 40s and 50s? When Prince died, niggas watched Purple Rain again like, damn, he was beating the fuck out that bitch. Like, damn, what the fuck was that?
All type of wild, like, shit where it's just like, bro, this shit was more than necessary for niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's been, my interactions now are so much more pleasant, my nigga. I have so much more peace in my conversation. I feel like the way that I feel inside and the way that I feel when I interact with people is night and day to how I used to feel, dog. I swear to God, just like my soul felt grimy, dog. Like I'm just like embracing like that, nigga. I want you to be scared of me. I want you to be like, have some type of like wall up with me, like all that kind of, now it's just, bro, like I'm open, I'm not ashamed of anything. I'm here and I'm like, I want to learn, bro, and I want to grow. Like, let's do that together, matter of fact.
Bro, you know what? We talk about the relationships that's changed the most. The interaction that's changed the most for me is the interaction with the public. Because I'm such a like happy-go-lucky person
like,
now. Like, hey, what's up? Good morning. How y'all doing? What's happening?
What's good, bro? Like, yo, that's what I want. Like, this shit, it feels amazing.
When we
like,
go to the flower shop, hey, what's up, Poppy? What's going on? Like, I was not on that. I was on ice grill at all times.
Word. Don't even look at me, nigga. What you looking at? You know what I'm saying? Yo, watch out.
It's like, I can't even find pictures of me smiling at all. Like,
nigga, like, wasn't cool if you smile. It'd be a nigga like, yo, you smile.
I really don't smile for cameras because I don't like the performance of smiling. But it's like, damn, nigga couldn't even just catch me on the candid laughing or something. Was I never on that? Oh yeah,
like hard face, nigga.
If a nigga asked me to take a picture right now, you know I'm grabbing my wrist and looking up with a face. Like, that's all every time, bro.
Nigga, I'm looking tough on this shit, nigga. I got to, you know what I'm saying? But nah, bro.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? Niggas say, yo, look at this nigga, bitch ass nigga smiling in the picture. What type of nigga smile?
Yo, smiling, but I was that nigga that would say that.
I would too.
I was that nigga that say that.
Like, you happy as shit, huh, nigga?
Happy as shit, boy. Try to shave it, but it's like, damn, that's coming out because I'm miserable. Nigga. I'm sad. I'm going through some shit, or I'm dealing with this. I ain't even realizing that. We just projected it on each other.
When it comes to relationships with women, we brought that up a couple times. What my boy said, or what the person asked him, like, man, do you understand what a woman brings, or do you value what a woman brings? And we could talk about romantically, but also obviously you've talked about how close you are with your mom. Like, how do you view those people differently now? Like, your romantic relationships, your mom, your everything, like, and what they bring. Do you value it or look at it differently now? Yeah,
100%. I think there's always the soul in me, and the genuine human in me has always valued women. You know what I'm saying? I've always.
Yeah, I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah, for
before.
Sure. But nah, in viewing, in how I view and how I talk about it, and what I actually recognize 1,000%, like, and just, man, there's so many things about them just so admirable to me, bro. Just like, and just the genuine nurturing and caring that they possess is priceless, bro. Like, the women are the most necessary piece on this planet, bro. It's like, and I can't express that. I can go on a whole list of reasons why I think that now, but I'm able to voice these things. I'm able to actually think about these things without feeling like I'm some sucker that's getting finessed by a woman because I'm getting pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it was painted. Like, you getting pussy from this woman, she finessing you, and she gonna leave you and break up with you, and your heart gonna be broken. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, out of that nasty, I don't even operate like that no more, bro. Like, hell no, man.
You know what's so crazy? Like, growing up, pimp culture, whatever. So everything was about what you can get out of a girl, what you can get. So I'm always trying to finesse. My whole game is like, what can I get about you? Where you work? What type of finesse can I pull at your job?
Drive
like
the car, drive your whip, come through the crib. You everything. Everything's.
Bro, I remember one time in Denver. I don't know if I told this story before, but I pulled up. I just bought a new Impala. I pull up in my shit, and like I was in like a flag football league and shit. Pull up to practice. And they like, damn, what bitch brought you that? Like, that was it wasn't even an option that I bought my shit. Like, word. And then my homie that I knew from like way back was like, nigga, that nigga work at such and such. That nigga probably got it for himself type shit. But that's the whole mentality of niggas in Denver. But anyway, or was at the time, I ain't gonna speak. You know what I'm saying? Down on it right now. Which this story was like a decade ago. You feel me? But now, then I shifted to, damn, I was so toxic with that shit. I don't want to take nothing or even receive anything type shit.
You shut it all the way down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now it feel way weird to me to even like be on some shit, like some game or gaming shit like
That's
that.
A part of the journey.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the thing that I've been able to value the most is like, or the way that I've been able to frame it, let me put it like that, is seeing divine feminine and feminine energy as the earth, and seeing divine masculine energy as the farmer, and being able as men, or divine masculine energy and those who relate in that way or identify in that way, to create some structure around the woman's natural flow, and having those things balance each other out, to work the land, to to add some it's what everything that a farmer does. But what, to your point about the most important piece, the earth is here and growing stuff, regardless if the farmer ever does anything.
Exactly.
The farmer can do nothing without the earth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. I live. That's one of the ways that I live. I look at women now, or I've been looking at women, and I live my life in a lot of ways that women live their life, because the way they move, how they operate, is how we should be all operating.
Yeah, I think one thing that, and I think there's necessary, like, men bring a lot to the table, and I think one of the things that people talk about, all masculinity is not toxic masculinity. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, there is a lot that men should be bringing and can be offering.
That we're capable.
But the masculine energy has to do with movement. You know what I mean? Has to do with structure. Has to do with bifurcating of things and defining things as separate, which has its place. But the feminine energy is more about flow, about the inner workings of things. It's also about stillness. And I think, like, at a point in my life, I couldn't be still at all. I remember, if I had a girl staying over or something, it's like, you got to be out in the morning just because I got to be able to move around. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't
word.
even, like, you have to be kicked out, because in my mind, I got to do this, and this to even just be able to just sit still. You know what I mean? And, like, understand and value that, to not need so much structure to be able to exist in a flow state. You know what I mean? Like, all those things that women offer and bring, I have been able to understand the value of and look at that in a different way.
I be copying. I be cheating. Looking
at
I bet y'all use all the way down to hair products and all that shit.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Yo,
I've been
you ain't never had a girl put you up on the hair product game. Yeah. Especially now, my joint getting longer. I'm getting back in that bag.
Boy, I can't even tell you how much women have just helped. Like, shape me, like, yo, I need to be listening to y'all all the motherfucking time.
Yo, shout out Mahalet, man. Mahalet put me on so much shit, dog, in terms of, like, hair, skin, all different type of shit. Like, taught me how to make certain, but she also put me onto shit like that people be surprised I know. Like, damn, you could use cinnamon to dye your hair. Like, what? Like, yeah, I know all
simple as her just telling me that
type of wild shit. Like, put some lemon with some conditioner and some cinnamon in there. You'll slowly lighten up your hair all the time. Like, but women just be on some shit. But a lot of times, because they can sit still, because they can take some time and space to understand themselves, because they are sensitive to energy shifts and know what, like, I may not know something's affecting me for a long time after a woman has already discovered that. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Because they can sense it. Just all these things.
This is why men change so much when they have daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't just the fact that, somebody gonna fuck your daughter one day, you gotta deal with that. Nah, it's a lot of shit you gonna be looking at differently.
You start to see yourself differently, because you start to see, what if you as how you stand now approached your daughter. You're like,
or
wait,
anywhere near
on.
your daughter. Like, your daughter feels unsafe when you're around. What's good with that?
Yeah, that's
you know
a
what
problem.
I'm saying? So it's really that. And I suggest, and niggas with sisters have a cheat code too, I think, man.
Yeah.
Like, niggas with sisters is like, they grow up naturally around that, you know what I'm saying, where the mom is not, well, I don't know what the mom's role is, but when you grow up in a house with just the mom, you know what I'm saying, the mom is playing her mom role, and it might be in a little under situation, but the sister, you know what I'm saying, you get to see her friends and how she move and all this and that, you know what I'm saying. So I'd advise any niggas, or just suggest to any niggas that got women around them, to actually start looking and start learning. There's so much to learn from these women.
Yeah, I think part of the whole thing in the society that we're moving away from was, like, men have the information and you're to be learned, like, to be taught by them.
Yeah,
but it has to be an equal exchange.
Definitely.
It has to be an equal exchange, and it's been so far on the other side now that, in fact, the balance is shifting to weight more on feminine energy, which I think, like you said, it's a lot to be taken away from with that shit.
Niggas think they smart because they understand money. Niggas like, yo, we made some shit up.
Which is like, there's nothing wrong with the provider role and standing in that. But if that's the only thing you're offering in a society where women are their own providers, you might gotta look at yourself.
Yeah, you gotta look at shit.
Might gotta check that out.
First generation niggas, bro.
First generation, we on the front line, bro, but we figuring it out.
We out here, bro.
Take a couple shots, but for the squad.
Hey, I'm still standing, dog. I'm Forrest Gump out this
Bubba!
Some of my niggas is Bubba. Some of my niggas is Lieutenant Dan. You know what I'm saying?
Lieutenant Dan.
You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get through, dog. We all
I got
shit.
you on my back, Lieutenant
Dan.
I'm gonna run you through bro.
I got you, my nigga. And it's never too late to get better. Even them niggas that I've dismissed or I've just kind of chalked up, boy, please, at any moment, you can, man, I'm on some bullshit. I was on some bullshit. Yeah. You don't gotta be ashamed and try to hide
niggas know
this
exactly
behavior.
Where you at.
Yeah, you don't gotta hide this past behavior or act like you've always been this nigga, this good. Bro, we out here, bro. First gen niggas, man. Let's get it.
Love you, my nigga.
I love you too, my nigga.
Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous. Get it.